That's past your experience. Here's the thing about it. Not only does God speak from His Word here, this is the way it's been since day one, every message He preaches is about His Word. And that's the difference. That's the difference. No preacher can engineer that. He not uses His Word to preach from, but every word He preaches from the Word is about His Word. So when the difference is here as opposed to anyplace else, that's it. All the messages go back and play Him. All the messages emphasize His Word. False prophets don't do that. False prophets do the text and tell you a story. It's a good story. And they make it good. And the eloquent ones really make it good. You know, the ones that they preach it, you know, those are the ones that really make it exciting. They talk about the woman at the well and you feel like you're there. He's never done it with us. He's never told us a story. Every word He preaches is a message about His Word. For years and years and years, what about when he answered that question, what is the problem? He can't say, oh, Lord, I wasn't sure. He won't buy that. I told you to go to Daniel last chapter, right? Someone's for the nice guys. These are the trick guys, and I put the title down. I'm learning, I'm growing now, Tiffany. I'll fix it. That's why I put the title on the board and don't do it. Try to make me look bad. Huh? How many years have we been doing that? Put a subject out, don't come near. That's what tonight, Lord, I got a surprise for you. Instead of we turn on lip, I kind of smile to myself. I got a surprise for my Lord. I'm going to write nothing down. And I know at the same time, you're sitting at the me, I got a surprise for you too. I'm not going to tell you, I got church today. Daniel 12. That's why it's going to be so exciting up here. Not the reason, but this is mine. Verse 8. And I heard, but I understood not. Then said I, oh my Lord, what shall the end? What shall be the end of these things? He said, go that way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed into the time of the end. Now, I'll tell you, when you read back chapter 2, where we start there, he mentions the 4 kingdoms. Okay? When he gets to the fourth one, the Roman kingdom, the one of iron, he has a whole lot more ink on that when there's all 3 combined. So the focus is in Daniel, the focus on that 4th kingdom. As the book progresses, you'll see it over and over again how he emphasizes don't feel like you can't learn prophecy. It's easy. It's even easier with the right teacher. I can teach prophecy and make it real simple for you. Right? So I'm going to ignore all the stuff, this peripheral stuff, stay with the real meat and potato stuff, right? So when Daniel is asking about what's going on, he's asking about this 4th one. Later on, we read about the image of the day. Later on, he's going to do it as a beast. Lion, bear, Persia, leopard, Greece. And the 4th one is called a nondescript beast. Why they call it that? Because there's no beast on the earth that they can scratch you. Which the first clue, this is an alien kingdom. Its source is nondescript, from up there. And this is a scary little monster they describe. So now he's asking questions, what should be into these things? And God tells Daniel, the words are closed. Seal the book up until the time of the end. Can you imagine how Daniel felt? It's like, sometimes I go to a commentary to see what a particular commentary has to say about a verse, and it never fails, that's the one verse they don't comment on. You know? Or your and that page has been ripped out. What is the point? Daniel, he only had one question to ask God, and God's not answering that one. He says, seal the book up. We get Revelation, and then in that book, he tells John, he says, seal not the writings of this book, because these things were at hand. What does that mean? That means when John wrote Revelation, and God said don't seal it, that means the seal on Daniel is now broken. Because Revelation is written 300 years after Daniel. So he said to John, don't seal this book. That means the two books go hand in hand. So I'm going to study Revelation and John and Daniel at the same time, basically, because Daniel unlocks Revelation, and Revelation unlocks Daniel. And so God gave Revelation to John. He said, don't seal it up. And so therefore to Daniel, that means your seal is broken now. Which means what? It's the last day. And God's saving all this stuff here now for the Antichrist for the last day. So this is it. I mean, I thought God was going to, like give a perfunctory handshake to Antichrist. I did not know God was going to start on Antichrist this early in the game. But he needs to rise up early. He's informing you. Basically, he said, your salvation rests in 10 days. It stands upon a 10-day period of time. And God's going to make sure that you are adequately informed before it comes. We're not looking at rapture day for a year and a half yet, and God's starting a year and a half early. On this subject, on somebody who's not going to be revealed until we leave here. But what time is it? Last days. He showed you about the 10-day interval. He told us about the dead rising 10 days for us, about the 2 resurrections. He told us about what we're going to look like, our appearance and everything. He went through the whole thing. I said the last thing you talk about somebody is how they're going to look is before you see them. That's supposed to go to the airport, they're holding your signs up, you know. I saw a cute commercial of the day. They're holding up Michael Jordan sign. Am I seeing one? Yeah. And this is white guy's time when he comes up to Michael, they're all disappointed, okay? They haven't seen him. He's like at the airport now. He's showing, okay, here you are. And you know, it's like going to a family reunion and somebody's flying in you haven't ever seen before. And so you're kind of curious what they're going to look like. And that family member comes down, you know. That's it. Because they look like Aunt so-and-so. Or Grandpa so-and-so. You know, the resemblance is there. The last thing he told you about is what he's going to look like and what you're going to look like. He said, for we're seeing him as he is. What are you talking about? Seeing him. What else are we talking about after that? Nothing. That's it.
Thank you, Lord.
You see me. Now here's what I'm going through before you see me. Last stage. You get it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, all right. Now, I'm going to read a little bit about, this is no more than 10 minutes reading, about Babylon. Tower of Babel. And King Nimrod reigned securely, and all the earth was under his control. Nimrod is your first type of Antichrist. Right? That's what Nimrod represents. He represents the spirit of Antichrist. So understand, this Antichrist thing is not something brand new. John says, you know, what do you call it? Spirit. Spirit of Antichrist is there? There's a word. I don't know. Spirit of Antichrist. This is the spirit of Antichrist. But the spirit of Antichrist has been around for a long time. But God has 1,000 different ways to show you what it's going to be like. And Nimrod is the first individual in the Bible that has the spirit of Antichrist. The spirit is getting stronger and stronger and more powerful since Nimrod days. Here's what it says about Nimrod. It says that Nimrod reigned securely and all the earth was under his control, all the earth. And all the earth was of one tongue and words of union. And all the princes of Nimrod, this great men, took counsel together. Foot, thinking about some of these names in the book of Genesis. Foot and Israel, Cush, and Canaan with their families. And they said to each other, come let us build ourselves a city. And in it a strong tower, and its top reaching heaven, and we'll make ourselves famous. So we may reign upon the whole world, in order that the evil of our enemies may cease from us, that we may reign mightily over them, that we may not become scattered over the earth on account of their wars. And they all went before the king, and they told the king these words, and the king agreed with them in this affair, and he did so. Then the rest of God's word, a lot of God's numbers he uses have counter numbers to them. Like in the day of the law was given, 3,000 people were killed the day God gave the law from Mount Sinai. When Pentecost came, 3,000 were baptized. Check out this number. And other families assembled consisting of about 600,000 men. Talk to me? And they went to seek an extensive piece of ground to build a city and a tower. And they sought in the whole earth, and they found none like one valley at the east of the land of Shinar, Iraq, about 2 days' walk. And they journeyed there, and they dwelt there. And they began to make bricks and burn fires to build the city and the tower that they had imagined to complete. And the building of the tower was unto them a transgression and a sin. And they began to build it. And whilst they were building against the Lord God of heaven, they imagined in their hearts to war against him and to ascend into heaven. What's it by Antichrist? It says he's going to sit in the temple of God, act as if he is God. He's going to open his mouth in defiance into God himself, anything that is called God. They're going to have a war against God. That's what the tower's all about. And all these people and all the families divide themselves in 3 parts. The first said, we will ascend into heaven and fight against him. The second said, we will ascend into heaven and place our own gods there and serve them. And the third part said, we will ascend to heaven and smite him with bows and spears. We will kill God. And God knew all their works and all their evil thoughts, and he saw the city and the tower which they were building. And when they were building, they built themselves a great city and a very high and strong tower. And on account of its height, the mortar and bricks did not reach the builders and their ascent to it until those who went up had completed a full year. We started the journey to go up to take them bricks and mortar. It took you a year to get to the building on this tower. That's a tall tower. It's a big tower. It gives some dimension in it. After that, they reached to the builders and gave them the mortar and bricks. Thus it was done daily. And behold, these ascended and others descended the whole day. And if a brick should fall from their hands and get broken, they would all weep over it. And if a man fell and died, none of them would look at him. A material-minded world. A world whereby things mean more than souls. This is what we're living in. You know? We've got banks for closed in, right and left. You got families that have been broken up and we put in the streets and so forth and put through hardship because the brick means more than the person. Same attitude. And the Lord knew their thoughts, and it came to pass when they were building the city, when they were building, they cast the arrows towards the heavens, shooting at God. And all the arrows fell upon them. Filled with blood. And when they saw them, they said to each other, surely we have slain all those that are in heaven. For this is from the Lord, in order to cause them to err, and in order to destroy them from off the face of the ground. And they built the tower in the city, and they did this thing daily until many days and years were elapsed. And God said to the 70 angels who stood 4 months before him, and these other writers, the little things that you don't know about them. That's when God gave Moses an help. God gave Moses 70 help, because he had 70 angels. Those who were near to him, saying, come, let us descend and confuse their tongues. let us. I said before, he said, let us make man. I had one application. Now he says, let us go down. He's talking to the 70 angels. Makes sense. Little riddle. Okay, he said, let's go down and see the tower and confound their language. But in Genesis, he said, let us make man. The two let us don't mean the same thing at all. One's regarding the officers of God, the Godhead, and one's talking about his angels. Let's go down. Take on. Because the message cleared out. That's why the time when it said yet a little while, some of you start going through concordance, look at all the scriptures says yet a little while. I said, you can't do that. So, God is saying. He mentioned that one. So that one has application. All the rest of them, he didn't tell me, so I didn't tell you. Right? I thought the same thing. I said, I'm going to go home now and look at all the letters, and God said, don't do it. He said, that one was talking about a little while, 10 days. He said, all the rest of them something different. There you go. So I didn't do it. But I wanted to. Anyhow. And from that day following, they forgot each man his neighbor's tongue. And they could not understand to speak in one tongue. And when the builder took from the hands of his neighbor lime or stone, which he did not order, the builder would cast it away and throw it upon his neighbor that he would die. It's not a bunch of bricks. I could have got out and get him. I'm going to do that. It's a bunch of bricks, and you order mortar. You got this big pallet of bricks. So what do? You take one brick at a time and just start throwing over. I'll need bricks. They're going to hit somebody. Somebody gets killed. That's what began to happen on the tower. The person got cement, so throw the cement over. Showing up out the road, I don't need this, and just throw it. You got folks that take 1 year to come up that tower, and it's getting thrown on them. So now you got a traffic jam in the tower, causing bodies that they really don't care about. You know, the ones bringing bricks, you know, I can save some time. I start walking up the tower and just picking up bricks as I go along, because by the time we get to the top, I have a whole lot of bricks. That's how I do it. And they did so many days, and they killed many of them in this manner. And the Lord smote the 3 divisions that were there, and he punished them according to their works and designs. Those who said we would ascend to heaven and serve our gods became like apes and elephants. Now I'll tell you, that's been in my mind. I forgot where I read it from. Okay? They've been having a hard time or trying to connect us with apes. And suppose some of those who became apes were us. And elephants have a unique thing about elephants. The elephant's the only animal that mourned their dead. They'll come across some bone. The elephants stop and have a ritual. They said elephants, they said, mourn the dead like humans do. Who's to say at the beginning of the elephants, but right here, and the apes. And that's why they have these characteristics, the same kind of human. I was watching this show, Orangutan Island. I watched it almost like I was on TV 3 o'clock morning. And so I look at it, and I can see how it's like God did a little joke on somebody, you know. He said, I'm going to really get you all mixed up, you know. You don't want to think, you know, that the evolution is the deal, so I'm going to have you look at these things here, you know, and don't be black. You know what? Thank God, right there, you know. Look at that. Group 1 became like apes and elephants. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
And those who said we will smite the heaven with arrows, the Lord killed them, one man through the hand of his neighbor. And the 3rd division of those who said we will ascend to heaven and fight against him, the Lord scattered them throughout the earth. And those who were left amongst them, when they knew and understood the evil which was coming upon them, they forsook the building, and they also became scattered upon the face of the earth. What was their fear? Lest we be scattered upon the face of the earth. That's what God did to them. And they ceased building the city and the tower. Therefore we called that place Babel. For there the Lord confounded the language of the whole earth. And it was at the east of the land of Shinar. So the word Babel means confusion. Huh? And it's still a land of confusion. And as to the tower which the sons of men built, the earth opened its mouth and swallowed up 1/3 part thereof. And a fire also descended from heaven and burned another third. And the other third is left to this day. And it is of that part which was aloft, and the circumference is 3 days' walk. And many of the sons of men died in that tower, and people without number. 3 days' walk. Now, the book I was reading from had a note on that. So this cannot be the tower that Herodotus saw, though it might be erected on the same spot, reckoning a day's walk 10 miles, as is supposed by the best Christian commentators. Its circumference the base of it, 30 miles. It's in the town. How far is to the beach from here? 20 miles?
10 miles.
10 miles, okay? 3 times the trip from here to the beach. That's the base of the tower.